Man, that is such a good message from our buddy Matt Chandler. And as we head into these 6 weeks about what it means for God to be our good shepherd, it kind of reminds me of a time in my life that I kind of stopped letting God be my shepherd. And funny enough, it was while I was at Bible college. Now, if I could do it all over again, I honestly might not have even gone to Bible college in the first place, because I went to all of these classes and I studied all of these things about the Bible and Jesus and Christianity and faith. And I came in this fired up Christian, just ready to encounter Jesus, ready to encounter his people, and ready to see what he would have in store for me. And I kid you not when I tell you that I would sit in Bible classes and just take in endless knowledge about God and the Bible and all that he's doing in the world. And then when I would go back to my dorm room and write a paper for that class, I would sometimes write a reflection paper about a scripture passage that I just didn't even read. Because that's how lazy I started to get in my faith. While I was part of this flock, while I was doing life with other people who are trying to find Jesus, I started to listen to other voices, and even that own voice inside of me that was suggesting that I do things that might not be what God would want for me. While I was looking and being part of this flock and walking with Jesus from the outside looking in, I was really kind of far from God. And I wasn't really part of that flock in my heart, because I didn't really let Jesus become the good shepherd of my life and of my soul and of my journey until after I realized all of that in college. Here's the tricky thing. When we're willing to say that Jesus is our good shepherd, it also requires us to admit that we're sheep. And I have some bad news for you and for me about that subject. Sheep are one of the least intelligent animals that exist on this planet. They get very confused. They have very little of a self-defensive nature. They are not intelligent animals, and on their own, they lead themselves to destruction. Without a shepherd to lead them, they lead themselves to destruction because they don't know who to follow, and they follow the closest voice that they can find. And friends, whether it's the news or that person at work or the friends that are around us, there are endless voices in this world that can either pull us towards or away from Jesus. So as we head into this Psalm 23, it's not just important that we know that God is our shepherd, but also it means that we're sheep. And that's not necessarily the prettiest thing to call ourselves. I'll be totally honest with you. But once I started to realize that on my own, I lead myself to destruction, when I'm following my own pride or the voice of others, my insecurities, my fears, my doubts, when that is the journey I'm following, it leads me but gets me stuck in that valley of the shadow of death. So my prayer for you over these next 6 weeks is that you'll be able to find true connection with your group members and with Jesus, our shepherd, through this material. God reveals himself to us through his word, but also through the voices of his people. And I want to encourage you to go all in with your group. So don't hold back when you have a thought or an idea, because you never know who needs to hear it in your group. So I'm going to turn you over to our leaders now. And at this time, you can go ahead and click that link that you were provided for your Google Meetup, and let's get into it.